Hey everyone, it's Pete from Abstract Ocean. Today we're going to install our second generation cup holder stabilizer for Model 3 and Model Y. As you'll see, they now come in two finishes. So we have the gloss black, which would normally match the piano black factory center console. And then we have a matte black as well, so it just kind of gives you a couple of options. We think the matte black matches, obviously, the matte black wrap pretty well, the satin wrap, and then this one, which is the matrix black. This is our favorite. This is one we always recommend. There's been a couple of other changes too. These are a little less pokey, so they're still sprung. They don't dig into your styrene cup perhaps, or your water bottle quite as much as the previous ones. And then we no longer require them to be stuck in place. They just slot in place, which makes it a lot easier. And then the last thing to note is that the top isn't completely level. It's actually either up or downhill, depending on your perspective. So when you install it, I'll pop this one in now, you want to install it so it's downhill. That way it fits perfectly. If you do it backwards, it will still fit. But just this bit is a bit high, this bit's a bit low. So install it downhill, and that's all you need to do. That's the gloss black. This is the matte. You'll see that I put it in backwards for a start. You'll see that it's a pretty good match for the matrix. But equally, if you want to get a perfect match, then we sell just for $1 a couple of extra decals that go on top of here. So I can quickly do that just to show you. One of these off. We've gone as close to the edge as we can, so that's how you want to install it as well. So just kind of get it lined up, something like that, and then just sort of put it into place like that, and just smooth it out. Then we'll pop that back in. You'll see that just kind of finishes the installation. So it's super easy. One of the questions we get asked a lot is whether our rubber liners, which look like this, are compatible with the cup holder. The short answer is no. If we just drop this in real quick and put this back in, you'll see this stands a little bit proud. It's up to you. It's not the end of the world. It still functions as it should, but I don't think that looks particularly good. If I just pull this out, the other option you have is we also, in the rubber liner kit, we have a couple of these for the rear cup holders. If you don't want to use those in the rear, then these are actually a pretty good fit. So I'll pop that in here and then just push that down. That actually works pretty well. So I would argue that's the better option. We never use our cup holders in the back unless we can help it. So that's probably an easier way to keep the same clean look and make sure this is properly in place. And then obviously they're super easy to remove and clean when you need to. So last thing, bit of a road test. Before we start, quick confession from Abstract Ocean. We live a fairly green lifestyle. We recycle everything. We have solar, we have power walls. All of our energy from the grid is wind and solar. But we have styrene cups. It gets pretty bloody hot in Texas a lot of the time, and these just keep your stuff cool. So no judgment, but we'll pop one of these in. Obviously that's great. We'll put both in. That's fine too. A bit cozy, but the cup holder stabilizer stays in place. So that's awesome. This is a disgusting alco pop kind of drink. It's not very tasty, but it's about the same size as your typical Red Bull can, some of the skinnier cans. And this still has a bit of a gap there, probably about 9 or 10 mil maybe. So it certainly won't fall over in any direction, but it doesn't really do much for it. It does more than if you didn't have anything there at all. But these are still a bit tricky to manage if you're doing a pretty good takeoff from the red light. Moving on, if you like to drink your meals, we have Soylent. That's a pretty good fit. If you run out of energy, we have a Monster. That's a great fit. And then a Topo Chico, the fizzy water. That works well as well. But the main point is you can pull this stuff in and out all day long. The stabilizer stays in place and makes sure that nothing moves. Last thing, kind of a cheap water bottle. Same thing as the skinny can really. You've probably got a gap of maybe 3 or 4 mil. So not a big deal. It'll hold it in place, but you want to keep the lid on for that sort of thing. So there you go. That is our second generation cup holder for the Model 3 and Model Y front center console. Thanks for watching.